Hi, I'm Jacinta Clark.
Hi, I'm Christine McDonald, and it is mine and Jacinta's pleasure to introduce to you Leslie Kaufman, head and founder of Philadelphia Sculptors, as she introduces the 2020 PS We Love Our Members grant.
Jacinta Clark came up with this idea because there is another organization, something called the West Foundation, and they are in a position to purchase artworks from artists and to support them financially. And so she and I talked about what could Philadelphia Sculptors do to help artists. And it hit both of us, I think, right away that artists really need something right away. They can't wait for bureaucracy to come around and help them. So the two of us talked, and I determined that Philadelphia Sculptors has access to resources, and we could use those resources to help our members. So we very quickly put together the idea of providing $1,000 grants for Philadelphia Sculptors members that they could spend on whatever they wanted. So the way we sort of structured the program was that somebody could join Philadelphia Sculptors to make them eligible for this grant, and then they would apply. We would review their applications and then would determine the winners based on a series of criteria, including need, including background, including just presentation of their application. And we went through that with a jury and found that we had a few more applicants that we just could not turn down. So we added one more $1,000 grant and then 6 $500 grants. But it was very important for us to be able to do something quickly. And the feedback that we've already gotten shows that people were very, very grateful that we could come up with something that would help artists, because we recognize that the artist community is going to be hit very hard by this, and many, many people were. And so we had quite a few people who were able to submit applications. And then, of course, we couldn't support everybody, but we tried to pick the people we felt were most worthy. And if in the future we have more resources, maybe we can try something again. But right now, that's the main effort that we've put together to do this.
One of the first things that we wanted to ask you was the history of Philadelphia Sculptors and how it started and what your vision was for it.
Well, Philadelphia Sculptors started as an idea in 1996. We've been around that long. I had been talking to people who started sculptors groups in other parts of the country. And it hit me that we didn't have anything like that in Philadelphia. So since there are so many artists in Philadelphia, it just seemed that this was a real need that we should be able to fill. So the idea behind it was to give opportunities to sculptors and to also teach the public about the importance of sculpture.
Awesome. So what has it meant to you over the years to be that liaison here in the city between artists and opportunities?
Well, I really have to say that it's been amazing. It's been probably the best thing I've ever done. I had no idea how many amazing people I would meet, how many people from all over, coming from, just different parts of the country, different parts of the city. Being able to help other artists it's very rewarding to be able to do that. And I think it's just expanded me in so many ways, because I got to see the practices of so many different sculptors, and I got to learn from them, and I saw how other people did things. So it expanded my world tremendously. And as a result of learning from other people, then I could take that information and use it in the kinds of projects that we were doing.
Another question we have is, what is your artistic background and what is your personal studio practice?
Well, for many years, I was working in wood. I was carving wood. And then I sort of changed from that for a while, partly because it was too big and too heavy. And my studio is now on the second floor, so it was hard to move things. I've worked in mixed media, not multimedia, but mixed media for a while. And actually, most recently, I have to say that my practice has rather slowed down in the studio, because what I've been doing is a lot more curating, a lot more working with Philadelphia Sculptors, and that seems to have replaced some of my own practice, because it's changed from me working on my work to helping other people work on their work, and that's become a part of my practice.
I guess as a follow-up with that, what has been one of your favorite projects that you've worked on with Philadelphia Sculptors?
Well, Philadelphia Sculptors has been very fortunate that we have taken on some very, very large projects that I didn't think that I would have been able to do. And because we have limited resources most of the time, it's never clear from the beginning how much we'll be able to accomplish. And I've been very happy to find out that we've been able to accomplish a lot. So I think really my favorite project was the show called Catagenesis, which was at Globe Dye Works. And that project allowed us to use the entire floor of a former factory that used to dye yarns and fabrics. And we used the space before they had converted the space into developed spaces. So it was very rough. There were still holes in the ceiling. It rained inside the building. But because it was so rough, the artists were able to do whatever they wanted. It had huge spaces to work with. And I think that that pushed us and it pushed the artists. So when you can work so well in a space with so many freedoms around you, that was just so rewarding. And I think that was my favorite show. We've had many others, as you well know, but that one, because we started from scratch and people were really rough and we had no restrictions. We could do pretty much anything that we wanted, and we took up the entire floor of a building. And I think that got us a lot of recognition. We had over 1,000 people come see that show, and we had people from all over really beginning to see us as being on the map at that point.
So sort of as a segue, since you're talking about this, all these amazing projects that took place in person and these gatherings of people, and given the current global crisis right now, how has COVID-19 affected Philadelphia Sculptors?
Well, clearly we can't do the kinds of exhibitions that are in real time and space anymore. So for right now, the show that we lost was the 5-into-1 show, which is our show where we have graduating sculpture students get together in a show that we curate, our young people curate. And we've been doing that every year for over 20 years. And that show, unfortunately, could not be mounted this year. It's a real loss because the students benefited from that. We always enjoyed seeing the new work that was coming out into the public. They missed that opportunity. There's nothing we could do about it. So instead, we are, of course, doing virtual things like this one. But we are still planning on doing a show, an outdoor sculpture show in the fall. So because we didn't have any other summer shows planned, we're hoping that the fall show will still be able to go on. And we just lost that time in the spring or summer, but we have plans for the following year, and I think that will make up for this. But we work as a team. I think we're a fantastic team because we support each other. We want the same things. We want to help people. We want art to be important to people. We don't want to lose art. I'm really hoping that the arts community will get together and find a creative solution so that we'll continue to be some funding, some support, but at least Philadelphia will show itself to be a city that does care about the arts, that does care about culture, and hopefully we'll be able to continue to do that.